Well, you mentioned like in some of the correspondence we had around, like you learned a lot about like leadership, politics, management. Anything you want to touch on those topics? I know those are always fun when you're going through lots of layoffs and things like that. I mean, I've been in the industry for my whole career and have been an entrepreneur for most of it. But even before I went off on my own, it was like we having to deal with that. We had Chesapeake. I was at Chesapeake when they replaced the CEO and brought in a whole new management team. A ton of
Yeah.
politics involved, a ton of changes. Then when I've been on my own, we always have clients. You have a great client, and then they either sell or merge with somebody, and then there's all the politics and management stuff involved with that. But just your thoughts on those topics.
Man. Yeah, I mean, there's
Without
just so
saying anything you
much.
don't want to say. I mean, like, I
Yeah,
don't want you to
no,
be
and
like,
I
"Oh,
mean, I
management
don't.
sucked," or whatever.
No, I think it's just so there's just so much to see, and I think I just tried to keep a perspective of like, hey, what can I learn through this? It doesn't mean that that's exactly what I would want to do if I was ever in the same position. Um, it doesn't mean that it's wrong. That I think that's something else that is really tough to see when you get into these roll ups. Is I think everybody wants to believe the way that they did it was the only way, the right way to do it. And it's like, no, there's so many ways to do business. I learned that, like, just because I don't agree with the way that that entity is doing business doesn't mean it's wrong. It's just not the way that I would do it. So there was a lot of that kind of stuff, a lot of things around the culture, a lot of things around bringing in people from different cultures. I mean, we had people from 4 different companies coming together and operating within the same team. And so you've got people that are used to putting everything in a PowerPoint, and you've got people on the other side of the spectrum that are used to just throwing maps on a table and knocking heads and coming to a conclusion. From a leadership perspective, how do you get those people to actually work together? So there's like a balance, there's a middle ground. The people that are putting everything into a 12-page report for every submittal, that doesn't work anymore. Because you've got half the team they're never going to read your 12-page report or your PowerPoint. But just throwing maps on the table, that might not work. And so it was pretty neat to be able to be kind of in the center of that and figure out like, okay, I've got, a group of 10 people, engineers, smart people. They're arguably the best of the best that we could pull from these companies, but they all feel very strongly about the way they're doing their work. And how do I get them to see there's a way we can do this together, that's not going to look exactly like they did it, but they can't look down their nose at the person next to them doing it a different way. So it was pretty interesting to work through all that.